Well, hello everybody. I just wanted to share something that my brother brought to my attention today. He was quite moved, and so was I, and I thought, well, we need to share this. Um, so, what brought to our attention was that there was a letter from Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, AMLO, the Mexican president, to Mr. President Donald Trump. It was written today, and I was curious, to read it, and my brother read it to me, and it touched him very deeply, and I was curious to see what it was he was referring to that Trump had tweeted today that um, moved him to write this letter, which he wrote to Mr. Trump. So you can read that today he wrote, on June 10th, the United States will impose a 5% tariff on all goods coming into our country from Mexico until such a time as illegal immigrants coming through Mexico and into our country stop. The tariff will gradually increase until the illegal immigration problem is remedied. So that was at 4:30 p.m. dated 30th of May 2019. And he had 25,469 retweets and 93,117 likes. And so okay, so I read that, and I understood why AMLO wrote what he wrote. So I'm going to transition to the next portion here. So this is Andres Manuel's letter back to him. So he wrote it from the City of Mexico, 30th of May 2019. And he says, Presidente Donald Trump, which means President Donald Trump. So I'm going to read it in English because I tried to see if they had a translation and they didn't. So anyway, I'm going to read it to you as if though it were in English. And if somebody finds an error that I made, just let me know. I do have another computer which I can set up. Anyway, it's not coming on. I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm just going to do my best to translate what Trump wrote. I'm sorry, what AMLO wrote to Trump. Okay? So he says, I am aware of your last post in relation to Mexico. In anticipation or in advance, I will express to you that I do not want a confrontation. The people and the nations that we represent deserve that before any conflict in our relations, or that instead of any conflict in our relations, no matter how grave they are, that they should use dialogue as a recourse, and that they need to act with prudence and with responsibility. The best president of Mexico, Benito Juarez, maintained excellent relations with the previous Republican, or the at that time Republican, Abraham Lincoln. Posteriorly, though, to the expropriation of petroleum. Then President Democrat Franklin Delano Roosevelt understood the profound reasons that caused President Patriot Lázaro Cárdenas to act in favor of our sovereignty. For a certainty, the President Roosevelt was a titan of liberties. Before anyone proclaimed the four fundamental rights of man: the right to liberty, the right to words or expression, the right to liberty of cults, which meant like religions, and the right to live free of fear, and the right to live free of misery. In this thinking, we have rooted our policy or politics regarding the migrant situation. Those human beings do not abandon their homes because they want to. Instead, it's because of necessity. It's because of that from the beginning, my government, I proposed to opt for a cooperation to desarrollo is like to evolve or to make things grow or improve, and to help our countries and or the countries of Central Americans with investments, productive investments, to create employments and to resolve deeply or as a basis of this very sad or sad situation. You understand also that we are doing our part or complying with our part or our responsibility to prevent in the measure that it is possible without becoming violent towards the rights of humans or violating human rights while they pass through our country. We want no está de más. So it is not too much to remind you that a short while ago Mexicans had no, it's not to remind you, but in hopefully a short time Mexicans will not have the need to go to the United States, and that migration will be optional, not by force. This is because we are combating or fighting against corruption, the principal problem of Mexico, like never before. It is in this way that our country will be converted into a power of social dimensions. Our countrymen will be able to work and be happy where they were born, where their families are, where their customs are, where their cultures are. President Trump, the social problems will not be resolved with increase in taxes or coercive methods. How to convert from how could you convert from one night to the morning a country from fraternity to the with the migrants of the world as a crutch, and in a space that's closed where there is a stigma that they have been mistreated, persecuted, they've been expulsed, they've had their rights canceled, and justice for those who search them with so much effort and to work and to live free from misery. The Statue of Liberty is not an empty symbol. With all my respect, and even though you have the sovereign right to express this, the United States First slogan is a fallacy, because in the end of times, including and regarding the national fronts, justice and fraternity, universal fraternity will prevail. Specifically, Citizen President, I propose to you a fundraiser or to profoundly use dialogue. Profundizar, it means profoundly, I'm sorry, not fundraiser. To profoundly use dialogue, look for alternatives that are at the basis, or what the real reason is for the problem of migration. Please remember that it's not that I have no valor, or that I am a coward, or that I am fearful, but it's because I'm acting on principles. I believe that politics, among other things, was invented to prevent confrontation and war. I do not believe in the law of Talion, or in the tooth for tooth, eye for eye, because if we are doing this, all of us would be left without teeth and without eyes, or with cross-eyed. I believe that men of state, and even more so men of the nation, are obligated to look for solutions that are peaceful, and that controversies the peaceful towards controversies, and to take into practice, and for all always and forever, the beautiful ideal of nonviolence. Last of all, I propose to you that you instruct your people, functionaries, that if it's not too inconvenient, to please attend the representatives of their government, the heads, for the Secretary of Exterior Relations of Mexico, who will, as of tomorrow, be going to Washington to come to an agreement that benefits both nations. Nothing by force, all using reason and rights. Your friend, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, president of Mexico. And I really, wow, it's so impressive the way he expresses himself. And this is really the way he's been running things in Mexico. Every day when I hear him, and I mean, he talks every day to the nation. And the media, the regular newspaper, American media, the Mexican media, are trying to hide his light under a bushel, so to speak. They don't want people to know how wonderful things can be and how beautiful a heart can be, as to share these things, these feelings, these thoughts of humanitarianism. I, for one, am very touched, and I'm hopeful for my people. And I say my people because I was born in Mexico. I'm an American citizen now. I have dual citizenship. But I'm just very happy for my people in Mexico, because I know that things should get better for them now, with someone who's not corrupt, who's got the reins. And I wish that a little less corruption would happen here, that we would be able to have medical, free medical, or a lot better medical. And then also, the education and the health, the assistance to the impoverished people. It's just so much. If you get the opportunity to hear Andrés Manuel López Obrador, AMLO is the acronym for its name. If you get the opportunity, watch him once in a while and hear what he has to say. And I assure you, your heart will be touched. Have a great day.